I may have showed this and I may not, but for your pick 4, you've got 12 patterns with this. If the numbers show up to match these patterns in any way, it'll put them in that section. So there's pattern 1, 2, 3, and 4. Five and 6. And you've got 7 and 8. That's 9 and 10. 11 and 12. Okay, now this last section here, or second to the last, right now it's set up to pick some of these patterns will show up in more than one. So you might have a pattern show up in set 11 and 12 that will have the same numbers but different patterns in it. So these can go with anywhere from 1 to 5 patterns. If I put a 1 in WO94, then all of these patterns, all these cubes showed up with at least one of the patterns in it. Okay, you can see there's 3 empty cells, or 3 empty cubes here, but over here there's 3 that are full, and none of these had any discernible patterns. So YB on across the end are cubes that had no patterns at all. Okay, now we'll go down here and type in a 2. That means that all of these patterns showing had showed up in at least 2 different pattern sets. Put a 3 and it'll do the same thing, but all of them, you can see they're getting smaller. They had at least they showed up with at least 3 patterns in each cube. Your list is over here, and it will total them up. This set, or this column here, will show you that there's 67 patterns that had 67 cubes that had 1 pattern, 40 that had 2, 10 that had 3, and 2 that had 4. And then this column here will just total them up. You can see there's 119 that had at least 1 pattern in it. There's your total. That's 119. This 52 means that there were at least there were 52 patterns that had at least 2, 12 that had at least 3, and 2 that had at least 4, and no patterns produced 5 different, or no cubes produced 5 different patterns. Okay, I went and made a book real quick on my previous video where I'm talking about taking each cube that shows up and folding it. Let's say that we keep these numbers just like they are, and this will be the front of our box. A box has 6 sides. Okay, let's say that we take this page, or this front, we make this the front of our box, and then we open this up like it was a page in a book, and then we fold it back to where it is to make the left side of the box. Okay, let's say we do the same thing to where we fold it up this way to make the right side of the box. So your numbers are going to be, this number here will be over here, and this number will be here, and these two, this one would actually go here, and this one would show up here. So if we open this up like a book, back this way, keep our numbers just like they are, and send it straight back. That'll give us our left side. and do the same thing, except now we open the page this way and go straight back. This gives us our right side, and then if we just reverse this, that would give us the back side of our box. That's kind of all explained in the other video, but I know that we have 2 cubes that have at least 4 patterns apiece in them. Okay, this was for the November 1st draw here in North Carolina. We have 1598. So I made this book that will do all the flipping and flopping for us. So we have 1598 was our numbers. 2063 are the numeric mirrors for those numbers. Okay, here will be our start cube in each one. So if we take, let's say we take, here's the first cube that had patterns in it for all 4. I'm going to copy those, bring them over, and I'm going to paste just the values into this book. Okay, you can see that if we took this, our start cube, and folded it backwards, it just keeps our numbers where they are, but it brings them back to the make the side of the box. Same thing over here. Fold this over, that puts our numbers reversed to what they are here. They go straight back to make the right side of our box. And then if we fold it over again, this page back this way, this will give us our back of the box, and if you brought this over here, you would see that it matches this one perfect. So that gives us a perfect 4 sides to our box with our numbers laid out. Okay, now if we take our start front pattern and we fold it up to give us a top for the box, that's what this cube does. Same thing for the bottom, fold it up, and that brings us down here. Okay, now anybody knows that like a shipping box, you have your front, your left side, your right side, and your reverse. You have your top and your bottom. Okay, now but like to make an actual actual shipping box, you have a flap that comes up off the right side, a flap that comes up off the reverse, and a flap that comes up off of the left side for the top. And then you fold all 4 of these over once you make your square to make your top. Same thing with the bottom. Okay, now this being our start cube, like I said in the video, our total from this number, or these sets, and these sets, that gives us sorry, this one, like I said, does the addition. Before I get too far ahead, if you take this cube, or this cell, and this cell, and total those up, that gives you 8. There's the 8. You take this one, the 6, the 2, and the 6, and total those up, that gives you 16. Same thing on across and all the way down. These sets take care of these. These sets take care of the center, and then these will take care of the bottom of the box. Okay, you can see here I've just summed up the 8 is a sum of 8. 16 gives us a whole number of 7. 7 again, then 8, and then you can see it visibly better here. And when you total all these up, that gives you 1,116. You get a whole sum from those, that is 9. Okay, it does not matter what numbers you put in this cube here whatsoever. If I go right here and I put a 1 in it, you're going to get a sum 9 right here. If I go up here and I put a 4 or a 5 here, you're going to get a sum 9. Go here and put a 7, you got 72 for a sum 9. It stays the same. It does not matter. try that here better. 1, 5, and then 7, so I don't screw up my calculations on the rest of it. Okay, that gives us 252 for a sum 9. It does not matter what numbers you put in this start cube, you're going to get a sum 9 here. You can put all zeros, all 5s, all 1s, mix them all up. You can go 0 through 4, 5 through 8, 9, and then keep going. You're going to get a sum 9 here no matter what you do. Okay, this one, you can see that I've got the sum of all these, the sides, and the bottom. And your sum number on these, it does not matter what you put in these cubes for to start with. You're going to get a sum 3, a sum 6, or a sum 9. It does not matter what you put in here at all. It's never going to change. It's going to be 3, 6, or 9 here. Okay, now this is our starting cube, like I said. Fold our pages back this way to make our left side. You've got the exact numbers reversed. Same thing for the right. And then the back of your box, your top, and then your top for each side. Okay, now you can kind of see it a little bit. This would be our start. And if we put all those together, you would see that. So what I've done here is I put all those together. So here's your sides. If you start with your start cube and attach these sides together and you flatten it out, you would have this. If you took your start cube, went this way, attached all your sides together, and flattened it out, you would have this. If you took your start cube, went up and to the right, combined them together, then you're going to have this one. And same thing, if you start here and go this way, you're going to have this one. Okay, now our numbers for this draw was 1, 5, 9, and 8 with a 2063 mirror of those numbers. Okay, now you can see the pattern here well. You can see the pattern here well. And you can see the pattern on, well, you can see the pattern on all four of them fairly easy. You don't see any 3s or 7s or 9s. Like I said, that is just one of the sets that showed up in four patterns, one of the cubes that showed up with 4 patterns or more. Okay, here's another one. Right there's 3 of your numbers, 1, 9, and 8, 1, 9, and 8, 8, 1, 9, 8, 1, 9, 8, 9, 1, 8, 9, 1. About any way you go about it with that one right there's the 8 and the 9 and 1 for 3 of your 4 numbers. So let's copy those. I'm going to bring those over and I'm going to paste them right here. Let it calculate. And there is all your sets, your sides combined and attached together and flattened out. And you can't find 1, 9, 8 over those 4 for 1, 9, and 8. Your 0 and your zeros are matching for your 5. That's your numeric mirror. So if you played 1098 or 1598 in any order, just going by these, you're probably going to do okay. Okay, now I'm going to go and just do a couple more on this one. I'm going to change this to a 3 so we get all the cubes that have 3 or more patterns. Let it calculate. And let's just take, I've already got that one. It don't really matter which one. Let's take this one because they showed up in the same sets. And I'm going to paste those numbers right here. You can see we've got some 3, some 3, some 9. And again, you've got 9, 9, and 9. Now you've got this one. you only have the small amount of zeros in this one, which is 1, 2, 3, 4. But there's your 1, 5. There's your 3 for your mirror for the 8, your 6 for the mirror of the 9, and this right here is your winning numbers. 1, 5, 9, 8. You can again see the patterns. It just spits out. Pretty good. Okay, I'm going to go to sheet 2, which is already made up. I've got 10 sheets, and I can put in as many as 15 of these start patterns to produce whatever I want. Let's go to the second. We had 8082 for our winning numbers on the day draw. And I'm just going to paste that right here. And it will calculate, and that lets us know that 3531 are the mirrors. And this one we had 4 patterns, or 4 cubes that had 4 patterns, or that showed up and that had 4 different patterns inside them. Okay, I'm going to take this first one from the top, and I'm going to paste those values here, and I'll throw some on a pile. Okay, it's calculated. Doesn't really look like much. Your starting pattern, you can see your 5s here, your 4s and your 9s and your 8. Remember we had 8082. But when you combine them all together, you can actually see the numbers. You can see the pattern showing up pretty good. I'll grab this one. So this one had 4 different patterns inside of it. I'll paste those in. Again, you know that each corner here is going to be your start cube, and that's going to be combining all the way around. You can see your 2s lined up, your 8s. There's your zeros. There's no zero showing except for here. Here on the outside corners. Here they're on the inside. Zeros reversed from there to here. And then your 2's reversed from there to here. Same thing on this side. Your 2 where they attach. Your 2 where they attach, they're reversed. Same thing here and here. They're reversed. No, they're actually the same on that one. They're reversed here. So you actually had the zeros on the sides of both of these, and then on the top and bottom of both of these. Okay, I'm going to grab the third pattern down, or the third cube. This one makes a pretty little pattern. Paste it in. Remember 8082 is our winning numbers. Kind of gives you a little lattice pattern. Same thing on both of these. Except you're 1 column over. This one's 820, which is 3 of your numbers, or 3 cubed, or 3 cells in. Over here they're 2 cells in. And finally, the last cube that showed up with 4 more patterns. And we'll paste those in. And the center section is full of 3 and 5s, which is the mirror of 8, and 5 the mirror of 0. That's all the patterns, all the cubes that showed up with 4 more patterns. Okay, we go here and put let's say we put a 1 in. Let's bring up all the patterns. Let's stick this one in there and see what it does. Okay, right there's all 4 of your winning numbers. 8082, 8082, 8082. So I'm going to just paste those right here, paste values, and just see what kind of a pattern it makes. Sort of. Grab another one. I'm just going to scroll around, close my eyes, and I'm going to pick this one. And we'll paste it in just to see. It's freezing again. So and there's your patterns. Your 2 showing up here, 1 column over, 3 showing up here, 1 column over, your 8 showing up, switching positions too. Of course, now all your other numbers do too, sort of. Here you've got the 677, the 677, but you don't have them over here. You have them on the inside. They switch completely. But your 8s and your 2s, they're no more than 1 column off from your other numbers. Your 4s here, again, are way on the outside of the sets here. Okay, let's switch over to sheet 3. We'll go to November the 3rd, which was 9929. We'll copy those and paste our numbers here. That's going to be 6616 for the mirrors. And let's get up to the top here. We have 5 cubes that have 4 more patterns inside of it. So I'm going to copy the first one at the top. I'm going to paste it in. There's your 9s and your 2s all over your starting pattern. So you went from seeing this to all of that. No mirrors at all anywhere in this first set. This has mirrors and only mirrors that showed up. I'll paste those in here. Copy that one. Paste it in here. Let it crackleate. And our 4th one, I believe. I'll paste your values here. And then finally our 5th. I'm going to paste that in, let it do its thing. Okay, now you can see the patterns, but just making a box. It's just making a box out of these 16 squares, or these 16 cells. These 16 cells are based on 16, which is 7, which is the numeric number opposite of 4. I figure every number 0 through 9 has one number that is even or odd, which would be an even or odd, positive or negative counterpart. And they do have similar mathematical structure. Like 3 and 8 are connected, 0 and 5, 1 and 2, 4 and 7, 6 and 9 will be your numeric left and right, positive, negative, however you want to say it. Nonsense to some. Sometimes you got to get your head out of the box, so look around it. But you can see the patterns showing up pretty good. 9929, you took just this center cell there, there's your 9s, and your 2, your 1, the mirror of the 2. Took the same cells here with the exception of the 8. What the 8 has to do with it, I don't know, because I'm thinking, from as much as I've looked at it, that if you take the numbers and you combine them together, 9, 9, 2, and 9, and you add them all together, that gives you 9 and 9 is 18, and 2 is 20, and 9 is be 29. Sum those up, that gives you 11, and a nice even sum of 2 for your whole number, and the difference between 10 and 2 is 8. So 8 would be like our guidelines, and 8 was very prominent in the last draw with the 8082, and it even showed up in the November 1st draw. November 1st draw had a sum total of 23, which is 5. These, your only opposite number that's not showing up is 4. I'm not going to get into my complete thoughts on numbers and math, but anyway, there's your 3 draws in a row with this new finding, and some pretty spectacular patterns, especially this one. 8082 is pretty much all over the board any way you go on it. And that was the winning numbers for the 2nd of November here during the day. Alrighty, thanks for watching.